Building collapsed in Savar, Bangladesh. Over 1,100 workers died, another 2,500 were injured. From the rubble of Rana Plaza, a worker made this plea: "Save us, brother. I beg you, brother. I want to live. It's so painful here. I have 2 little children." Canada has not answered that plea. It is time we did.
Matthew Kelvey, NDP MP for Beaches, East York, and a delegation representing Canada's largest unions travelled to Dhaka, Bangladesh, to commemorate the lives lost under the rubble of Rana Plaza. Kalpana Akhtar, a local union leader, meets with the Canadian delegation to discuss challenges and repercussions that workers are facing in Bangladesh, trying to organize unions and their fight for basic health and safety rights.
We have about 5,000 factories across the country, and we have only 140 union that has been registered, and majority have just registered last 1 year. But you know, when we have 140 union registered, we just mean we have a hope.
The team headed to Savar, an industrial suburb of Dhaka, to join Bangladesh workers, survivors and relatives of those who died in the rubble, for a rally outside where Rana Plaza once stood. The street was full of people holding up photos of their loved ones. Many of them never found the bodies of their relatives under the collapsed building, and many of them will never qualify for compensation.
And this is the outcome of the logic of an economic system where a workplace, a garment factory, becomes a burial ground for workers.
We come here to obviously mourn the dead, but also fight for the living, and to make sure that justice is brought about for those families that want to recover their families and make sure that they're compensated.
I think it's a very hard day for me, and it challenges my mind to think why as suppliers there's still a reluctance to assist in the garment industry in Bangladesh. You know, a year ago today, this plant collapsed. Many deaths on this location, and I would say that for the governments around the world, and for the suppliers who buy from the garment industry all around the world, but in particular from Bangladesh, if there's a question in their mind as to why they should participate in the accord, or if there's a reluctance to participate in the accord and work hard to establish safety for these workers in Bangladesh, I would say just come here for a day, have a look around, talk and look to the families of the victims that are out there holding the pictures of their loved ones, some of which have never been recovered. There's no closure for the Bangladeshi people in this location.
Being a site of one of the largest industrial accidents in the world, and I couldn't help but think that the lack of recognition on the site suggests that these lives have very little value.
Had Rana Plaza been organized, had the members had the workers there had it been a collective, this could have been avoided.
Rebecca Khatun, now 22 years old, is a survivor of the Rana Plaza building collapse. She watched in horror as her mother died right in front of her. 4 other family members also perished. For Rebecca, Rana Plaza took her legs, leaving her totally dependent on her husband.
আমার সরকারে 10 লাখ টাকা সঞ্চয়পত্র দিছে 10 লাখ টাকার সঞ্চয়পত্র 9200 টাকা আসে এই 200 টাকা 9200 টাকা দিয়ে আমি ঘর ভাড়া দেব না দোকান বিল দেব না যেগুলা ঋণ করছি সেগুলা দেব আমি কোন দিক দিয়ে আমি চলবো কোনোভাবে আমি চলতে পারতেছি না
The total amount of compensation was to be about $40 million for loss of life and injuries suffered from the Rana Plaza collapse. $40 million. Of that $40 million, currently there's about $16 million that has been raised so far, and of that $16 million, 2 companies, Loblaws and Primark, have given $11 million out of the $16 million. We're still $24 million shy, and companies like Walmart are a blip on the screen. They've contributed hardly anything, and it's a shame. These companies have to pay their fair share of compensation.
We developed the international labour community in conjunction with our friends and allies of the Bangladeshi labour community, developed the Accord on Fire and Building Safety in Bangladesh, which currently, as I speak, has 156 global retailers and brands signed up.
Canadian engineer Brad Lowen is the Chief Safety Inspector under the Accord on Fire and Safety.
The Accord is a legally binding agreement between the signatories, the unions on the one hand and the brands on the other. The ILO is the independent number of things. It requires independent inspections of all the factories that are used by the Accord signatory brands. The inspections on the level that we're doing them have not happened in the factories before. They're very scientific, code-related, done by engineering experts.
Delegates met with a number of government officials. The delegation was greeted with a bank of television cameras and a mountain of microphones in their meeting with Commerce Minister Tofail Ahmed, one of the most prominent political personalities in the country.
We are here to extend a hand of friendship to the government of Bangladesh and a hand of friendship to the workers of Bangladesh in the hopes that the government of Bangladesh will embrace the opportunity for the workers to associate freely, to bargain collective agreements with their employer freely, that will allow the workers of Bangladesh to have a bright future for themselves and for their children.
Talked to the various stakeholders, and we've met with various government ministers and secretaries. The issues are inextricably linked right now. The collective bargaining, workers' rights and working conditions is linked to the fire and building safety. However, we have a fear that when the fire and building safety issues begin to become addressed, as indeed we hope they will, we do hope that the working condition and worker rights issues don't fall off the agenda.
In Old Dhaka, members of the delegation met young, courageous union organizers in the offices of the Bangladesh Center for Workers' Solidarity.
I'm very moved by the passion and the commitment of the young workers we met today. Now I feel I want to go back. I feel strength from them. They've given me strength. And I've got to go home and try and express that to my own union and to other people, to other workers, other unions, to try and find ways to provide more support.